Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking about a very important story today that briefly appeared in the news and then disappeared. What you're looking at is footage from a location here in Virginia where an elite sex trafficking ring was running. And there was another location in Boston. It was a high-end sex trafficking ring that serviced elected politicians, tech executives, pharmaceutical executives, military contractors that had security clearances, and it was run by 3 Korean individuals, 1 woman, Han Lee, and then 2 men. And it could have been a foreign influence, honeypot type thing. So let me go ahead and bring up the articles, and then I'm going to show you some footage. So here is an article from November 8. High-end brothels serviced elected officials, tech and pharma executives, military brass. Elected officials, tech and pharma executives, military officers, doctors, government contractors with security clearances were among the clientele of the pricey ST ring around Boston and in Eastern Virginia, federal prosecutors say. The shop and so, I hate that they're using words like this. This is not what this is. Now, obviously, we have to, because of the terms of service here and the community guidelines, I have to be careful how I word what we're talking about here. But this is not, to word it this way downplays what it was. It is an sex trafficking ring, okay, that was being run out of multiple states and service to high-end clientele. And when they use words like this, it just upsets and irritates me. They charged upwards of $600 per hour depending on the services. And then the 3 people were charged, so we will talk about that. A network of quote-unquote sophisticated high-end, I would call it an ST ring, in Greater Boston and Eastern Virginia provided sex for pay to, quote, elected officials, high-tech and pharmaceutical executives, doctors, military officers, government contractors that possess security clearances, professors, lawyers, and others, federal prosecutors said Wednesday. They did say lawyers, and they also said students as well. Pick a profession, they're probably represented in this case, U.S. Attorney Josh Levy said at a press conference. Now, there were websites that were being utilized for this, and these were very expensive apartments. The website in Boston was called BostonTop10.com. The one in Virginia, I think, was a little bit more insidious. It was called browneysgirlva.blog. So it sounds innocuous, right? Like just a blog, some girl's blog, but that's not what it was. And it was quite obvious from the website that this was not what it was purporting to be. And it was purporting to be like a website that was for quote unquote nude modeling, like that you could book appointments for quote unquote modeling with women. And these were mostly Asian women. And so these women, they're being trafficked from Asia. That's what's happening here. And you'll see that this was very, very high end. We're talking, they were probably making millions of dollars from this. The appointments took place in high-end apartment complexes where the rent was as much as $5,600. That's just the rent. That's not including utilities, and that's just in one place. They had 5 locations in Boston and 2, I believe, 2 in Virginia, and we're going to show you the Tysons and the Mosaic locations. But these apartments, like, you can't get in there with it, like they're high end, so there's security is what I'm saying, right? That the idea that you could have multiple people coming to one apartment per day in a place like this and like people weren't aware of it is ridiculous to me. Also, all of the clients would have been picked up on security footage, so they will know exactly who they were. And in addition to that, the clients had to provide their employment information. They had to provide IDs, credit card information. They had to provide not just employment information, but references. Could you imagine providing references for an ST network and service with your employer? and your employer happens to be the government for some of these people. That's amazing to me. Yeah, so the websites included photos of women as well as their measurements, their physical dimensions. Quote, "Here to serve our wonderful Boston friends," one of the websites said, according to an image viewed by CNBC. Quote, "Each website allegedly described a verification process that interested buyers undertook for eligibility for appointment bookings, including requiring a form providing their full names, email address, phone number, employer, and reference if they had one." So they had all of their information. And so just imagine, do you not think that each of these apartments were wired with sound and video equipment? Of course they were. So it's just incredibly concerning. This is crazy. Yeah, so right here, they started operating in July of 2020, located in Cambridge and Watertown, as well as Fairfax and Tysons, Virginia. The Virginia locations are close to DC, in an area that is rife with government contractors, many that have security clearances. Yes, exactly. The Boston area is home to many pharmaceutical and tech firms, top financial services and law firms, and leading American universities. In addition to politicians and military brass, business executives, and government contractors, customers included lawyers, scientists, and accountants. Unreal. The investigation into the buyers is active and ongoing. The U.S. Attorney's Office said. So we're talking about something that could be along the lines of another Epstein type thing, right? Okay, I'm going to show you a couple more articles here. Politicians, executives, high end, and they're all using the same word. They're all using that BROTHEL word, which is not what it is. Oh, and I wanted to show people this. This is one of the text messages that would be sent. And I'm not going to say what this stands for, BB. You can look that up if you want, but it's absolutely horrible. And then GFE stands for girlfriend experience. So you can see the prices for the times here under the guise of this being photo shoots. There was, so who were the clients, and are we ever going to know? Right now they're saying they're not releasing the identity of these people because it's a quote-unquote ongoing investigation. Yeah, network servicing elites. What a surprise, right? Now here is an article that is so they had to appear in federal court. Man and woman accused appear in federal court. Detention hearing now set for November 22nd. So that is coming up. And obviously they're going to be a flight risk. This is, they're all Korean and they're all foreign individuals. And by the way, Han Lee, the woman who was the female Asian madam that basically was the main person running this, she moved to America from Korea in 2014, and she reported, I believe it was in 2019, marrying a U.S. citizen. I'm interested to know who that was, right? And yeah, and then she started, this, very crazy. So she's clearly a flight risk, right? She has family in Korea that she could abscond to. All of them could. And then this is just the DOJ, and even they're using this word in their press release for this. And I wanted to just show you guys a picture from one of the websites. This is from the complaint. And just so you could see, it was obvious from Boston Top 10 and Brown Eyes Girl VA.blog that this was not a modeling website. And it even had a disclaimer saying like, oh, this is not a, PROST thing, oh, we're just modeling. And it's like, okay, yeah. All right, so now we're going to get into the footage from the Virginia locations, the Mosaic District, Avalon Apartments, and then the Hanover Tysons location. And just to warn you in advance, before we filmed this, I had a Cuban coffee and I have like a caffeine allergy. Basically, I can't have caffeine after like 12 o'clock noon or I act really goofy. So I am like blabbing nonstop. And I apologize in advance, but I wanted to show you guys the Virginia locations where this was happening because, like I said, this is very close to where I live. Like, I get my hair done in this same area of Mosaic District. These are very, like, this is a nice area. It's considered a nice family-friendly area, so this could be happening, and something like this could be going on in your area too, and you could have no idea. And that's really what I wanted to highlight. And I just wanted to cover this story because it appeared, it disappeared. I don't see anyone talking about it, and I think that we really need to push for the names of the clients to be released. So without further ado, I'm going to show you that footage now of the 2 Virginia locations. We are outside of one of the locations that was used in the brothel and sex trafficking ring. This is in Mosaic District in Fairfax, Virginia. You can see the Mosaic District behind me, and the building is called Avalon. So you can see that there. This is a very nice area. It's like a suburb area. People come here with their families, and these apartments are expensive. They're like $4,000 a month to rent, and you can see like they have security too. They always have somebody at the front desk. You can't get into these buildings without key cards and stuff like that. So these people had money, and they had powerful people coming here, and I find it a little bit weird that nobody was suspicious of the activity that was happening here. So we're going to check out the other location also that was in Tysons, also in another very upscale, fancy area. Oh, and we're also going to have some lunch too. You needed to know that. That's the most important part.
I mean, yeah.
Of the day.
Gotta do it.
It's true.
All right, let's go.
So we'll see you in a bit. We're at Hanover Tysons. This is location 2 of a high-end brothel and sex trafficking ring that was operating out of the greater Boston area and Eastern Virginia area. 3 Korean individuals, Han Lee, Young Mang Lee, and James Lee, and they've been charged in connection with this. And I'm just going to read to you from an article that came out today. They appeared in federal court today. Commercial sex buyers allegedly included elected officials, high-tech and pharmaceutical executives, doctors, military officers, government contractors who possess security clearances, professors, attorneys, scientists, accountants, students, among others, believed to have traveled to engage in illegal sex activity with the women who were being advertised on the website. These were mostly Asian women that were being advertised on 2 different websites. There was a website called BostonTop10.com, and then there was one called BrownEyesGirlVA.blog. So this location here, Hanover Tysons, the customers would have purchased the women through that website, their time with the women through the website, and it was facilitated through what they called nude photography. So that was the front for this. They had a front of, you could do 30 minutes, an hour, 30 minutes of nude photography, but what it actually was a sex trafficking ring, and what I believe was a blackmail ring. Was this foreign intelligence? Was this being run in conjunction with maybe U.S. intelligence? It's kind of strange. Like this area, Tysons, we're very close to McLean in Virginia. It's a big CIA area. And Boston also is known for having a large CIA presence as well. So that could be coincidental. But it's just very strange that in an area like this that is very upscale, very high-end, lots of security and stuff, that something like this could be going on, and nobody was aware of it. That just is crazy to me.